Does anyone else think that it's interesting that certain channels get flagged, get censored? Primarily conservative channels that are allowed to go unchallenged and unchecked, the way, say, for example, that some of us that might be more conservative that are speaking out seem to be more demonetized and censored. So my question is, just as a couple examples, Crossroads, Josh Phillips, Epoch Times, uh, Dr. Rashid Buttar, right? How come he's been able to talk all about the virus and talk against the government and this and that and yada, yada, yada? How come he hasn't been censored, but yet some of us have? Now, that's the question I propose. People say, what are you saying? I'm not saying anything. What I'm saying is it's a good possibility that maybe YouTube is allowing certain content, certain channels, certain individuals to go ahead and say what they have to say as kind of part of that propaganda that, not propaganda, but I mean, as far as allowing the narrative to be pushed, whether it's the conservative movement by certain individuals, and certain individuals, it's not been able to be pushed. It's just really strange. This is one of those things I was thinking. I was like, how come all these other conservative Christian channels, Republican channels, and truthers are getting censored, but yet some truthers and conservatives are not getting censored? And then I'm like, well, maybe it's some of the things they've said, some things they've not said. No. Dr. Rashid Buttar, especially when they started up, when it was all starting with the masks and the mandate and the C virus back in March 2020, Rashid Buttar, I didn't even know who he was. Next thing you know, the dude had like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I'm like, who is this guy? And I was listening to him for like 5 minutes, meaning I listened to maybe 5 or 10 videos. It's an expression. And then I realized, wow, this dude is actually part of that whole kind of agenda to make it look like. So it's almost like, I mean, not agenda, I mean, as far as YouTube's agenda, to make it look like they're not being prejudiced or being biased. It's almost like it gives YouTube kind of a scapegoat, you know, kind of that plausible deniability, but they can say, oh, no, we're not biased against conservatives. Look at all the channels. Look at all the people, right? So they can have that kind of out, that scapegoat, and say, well, no, we have lots of conservative channels that we don't censor. I don't know. Just something about it just seems weird. If you feel what I'm saying, tap that like button.